Come on in, pull up a chair and take a load off because today I will be taking a first look and paging through Mythic Odysseys of Theros for Dungeons and Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. This hardcover is arriving in stores very soon, so let's dive in and take a peek right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, we are going to be taking a first look at Mythic Odysseys of Theros for D&D. But first, I do want to remind you, if you like this video, please, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little notification bell, because it will not only let you know when I upload videos such as this, it'll also tell you when my live stream, the Daily Dope, airs right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, where I bring you all the latest in tabletop gaming news. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. All right, as I mentioned, we're taking a look today at Mythic Odysseys of Theros for Dungeons & Dragons. This is, obviously enough, from Wizards of the Coast as well. We're going to take a look at the standard edition. There is a special alternate cover that will be available in friendly local game stores when this comes out. The 256-page hardcover does arrive in stores on July 21st. It is going to carry an MSRP of $49.95. So let's swing on over to the other camera. Let's get a peek here. We've got Mythic Odysseys of Theros in all its glory. I dig the artwork on the cover here. I certainly do. And then it carries over a little bit onto the back also. So we'll just read a little bit of the flavored text that's on the back. Challenge the gods. The world's most popular role-playing game meets the world's most popular trading card game in this campaign sourcebook detailing the Magic the Gathering world of Theros for use in Dungeons & Dragons. Legends walk the lands of Theros, a realm shaped by deities and the deeds of heroes. From the temples of omen-speaking oracles to the 5 realms of the underworld, the champions of the gods vie for immortal favor and a place among the world's living myths. Choose a supernatural gift that sets you on the path of destiny, align yourself with one of Theros' 15 gods, and carve a tale of odysseys and ordeals across the domains of mortals, gods, and the dead. And of course, this is for use with 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Let's hop on into this book. I will mention that this just arrived in the mail about an hour ago. So in the time it took for me to create that little intro piece to start off the video, that's about how hot out of the box this is. So we're going to take a peek on in here. I'm going to mention as well that I am not familiar with the realm of Theros. I got to be honest, I enjoy playing Magic the Gathering. I have been playing Magic since the beginning, since it originally launched. We had alpha cards way back in the day, but I've never actually gotten really involved in the background of Magic the Gathering, you know, the setting stuff. I'm one of these guys who's like, oh, hey, love the artwork. Oh, that's a cool card. Oh, I love this combo. But I don't necessarily delve into the background. So I find these setting books to be kind of cool. I gotta be honest, because I don't know really anything about these settings. So we're going to kind of focus real quickly here, give a little shout out to all the people who are involved in creating the content of this book. There are so many people If I tried to read all these credits, we'd be here for 20 minutes. Anyway, we're going to jump on in here. So, Theros, obviously enough, is a setting for Magic the Gathering. It's kind of a realm. I have the impression that it is a bit of a mashup between kind of Greek mythology and Roman mythology. I might be absolutely wrong, but we're going to page on through. We're going to take a look. I have not looked at any of this. In fact, you could tell when I was reading the info off the back, I kind of stumbled over temples because I was like, am I reading that right? I have not looked at any of this. I have not cracked this book open until now. Although this is available digitally already, it has been for about a month over on D&D Beyond, Roll20, as well as Fantasy Grounds, which I think that's the first time that Wizards of the Coast has released a major D&D book on digital platforms. I think it came out on D&D Beyond first, obviously enough, and then it followed up on Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds. So we've got a character creation section here. I think the characters are along the lines in this setting, kind of demigods, almost. I know they're going to be more powerful than a standard first edition D&D character, who are pretty powerful in the great scheme of things anyway. Every of the characters, the player characters, are going to have a supernatural gift, which is tied into one of the gods. So I think that's kind of cool. That's where I kind of get the impression that the heroes are, I guess I would say, semi-demigods. I know that sounds kind of weird. So as we take a look through here, I do want to address an elephant in the room that many longtime D&D fans are probably thinking, and I'm sure there will be people who are a little upset that we are not seeing setting books such as Dark Sun or Planescape or Spelljammer, that we do see Wizards of the Coast releasing these setting books that are Magic the Gathering settings. And I can understand some frustration that people have out there. They want to see some beloved settings return to D&D. I get that. I completely understand that. A lot of people have a lot of love for those TSR settings from back in the day. That said, Magic the Gathering is very popular. Dungeons and Dragons is very popular. So it's kind of like two mints in one. So I understand the approach that Wizards of the Coast is taking because they know these are going to sell. We do have some new I don't know, maybe not classes, but I know we have new cultures, new races available. So right here, we're looking at the Leonin, who obviously are lion creatures. Let's see. I was so busy talking about people being disappointed. Sorry that I didn't really stop to take a peek. Okay, so here we go. We got the races here. We've got humans, centaurs. Well, that's kind of cool. I like that. The Leonin, a minotaur. Okay, so that is interesting. So the players can take on the role of a minotaur. Interesting. A satyr, triton. Wow, that's also interesting. That tritons are supposed to be pretty powerful, at least in Greek mythology they were. Then we get some subclass options for the bard, the paladin. Obviously enough, we've got some new backgrounds. As I said, this looks straight out of like, ancient Greece. So I do think Theros is really inspired a lot by Greek and Roman mythology. So now we get into the gods, because I believe these gods are going to play a much larger role in this setting than they would, say, in the Forgotten Realms. So we have divine characteristics it's talking about. I like the artwork so far. The artwork's really cool. Really digging it. Talking about worshiping the gods, clerics, and champions. Now we're going to get into each of the gods. So, Theros, the god of passage. Talking about worshiping the god, champions of that god, earning and losing piety, myths regarding that god as well. Oh, wow. That's pretty wild. Jeez. Okay, and then we're going to get into Imphara. I know I'm not getting these names right, but I'm taking a shot. So it looks as if we have a breakdown of each of these gods. As I mentioned, there's 15, I believe, and kind of getting an idea of what they're the god of. Like Erebos is the god of the dead. The influence, talking about worshiping that deity, champions of that deity, special favors. So I'm going to take a guess. These are kind of the supernatural aspects that the player characters can have because of that deity. So we have Heliod, god of the sun, god of victory, Eros. Kind of looks like Ares right there. Although they don't usually depict Ares with wings on his helmet, but we have the Karamitra, god of harvests. Oh, that's pretty cool artwork as well. We have Karanos, god of storms. I'm not even trying. Cathius? I don't know. Cathalis? It is the god of destiny. Krufix, god of horizons. Oh wow, that's very cool. As I mentioned, I don't follow the backstories of the various different Magic the Gathering settings, so I'm finding this to be pretty interesting just looking through here. Of course, I will do my best to have a review of Mythic Odysseys of Theros before it hits stores, which that's going to be a fairly quick turnaround because it's actually in stores in less than a week from when I'm shooting this. So I'm actually shooting this on July 15th. It's supposed to be out in stores on July 21st. Farika, god of affliction. I would take a guess that some of these gods are villainous. Although, even in Greek mythology, Greek Roman mythology, because it's very, very similar, because the Greeks, I should say, the Romans actually ripped off a lot from the Greeks as far as their myths. You don't really have deities who are evil per se. That's one of the things I like about Greek mythology is that the deities all have their flaws. They have their positive aspects and they have their flaws as well. And they bicker all the time. I love that. I love that about Greek mythology. So we have Thassa, god of the sea. But I would think that depending on what affiliation the player character would have with a deity, probably puts them at odds with other champions of other deities. It's my guess. So the realm of gods and mortals. We have some Pegasi and a chariot being drawn through the air. Here's the world of Theros. Exploring, we get some information about the government as well as trade and currency, the calendar, Akros, one of the cities. I'm going to take a guess that's probably supposed to be Athens, maybe. So you can also see that the art style, like even like the architectural style, is fairly Hellenic. So we've got another city here. Miletus. Evil flourishes where ignorance thrives. So this is just basically giving us information of, it looks like these are cities, possibly city states, especially if this setting draws a lot of inspiration from the Greeks and Romans. Then you've got all the various city states of like the Greeks. So we've got Phoberos and Scopus. Well, that's pretty wild. Realms of the Returned. I'm going to take a guess those are the undead. I mean, where else would they be returning from, right? The Siren Sea. So now we're getting into some areas. So kind of a cool gazetteer that we've got so far that we're taking a look through here. The underworld, which plays a huge role, especially in Greek mythology. So now we get into creating Theros adventures. So some dungeon master facing info. Another very cool piece of artwork here. Looks like it's a Medusa or whatever, maybe is considered a Medusa style monster in this setting. So we've got divine assistance, communication. So, like I said, I have a feeling that the player characters are going to be tied much closer into their deity, and their deity will probably involve themselves into the player characters' adventures more so than you would normally see in a D&D game. So we've got different omens of the various different deities here. Divine intervention, divine ordeals. And then looks like we're getting more information about each of the deities again. So I wonder, this might be more towards GM facing, or DM, I should say, facing info here. So divine schemes. Oh, there we go. Okay, so using Theros as a campaign villain. I wonder if they're going to do that for each of these deities. I'm going to guess they probably do. Because it says Theros was the god of, I don't know. I forget. Maybe it's the undead or of the dead. Oh, okay. So the underworld, land of the living. So it looks like there's probably a temple kind of along the lines of like the river Styx. Oh, yep, there we go. So it looks as if each of the deities could be used as the campaign villain. That's cool. And it appears that we're going to see that for each of the deities. Okay, so here's a temple. Ooh, and a graveyard to the temple too. Oh, right there it says graveyard temple. Okay. Cool map. Heliod, as powerful as he is arrogant, Heliod believes in his vision of a bright, orderly future and demands that his champions help bring it into being. All right. And another example of a temple. So that deity. An arena. Is this the god of war? God of battle? Erotus? I think that was the god of war we were flipping through earlier. There is a lot of content in this book. A lot of it is devoted to the various different deities so far. Looks like about more than half the page count. I haven't necessarily been keeping track in my head, but we have a lot of content surrounding the 15 different gods that are available to tie into the player characters. So a canyon shrine. This is the god of minotaurs. Mogus, He is by far the most bloodthirsty god of the pantheon. Aha. So I could see very easily using this deity as a campaign villain. All right, kind of just zinging on through here. So far, one thing I do really like is the artwork. All, and it's not all from the same artist, obviously enough, but there isn't a lot of unevenness in the artwork, which we sometimes see from role playing game releases, which is understandable, but sometimes it's really jarring that you'll see some really cool artwork, really nicely done artwork, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is like a cartoon. What's going on here? Or we find, some pretty lackluster artwork. But throughout this, it wouldn't shock me if a lot of this artwork is from Magic the Gathering cards as well. Like I said, I am not overly familiar with Theros. All right. Yeah, wow. It's like everything, almost everything outside of the Gazetteer is really all about the deities and how they influence their champions, various quests. So there's loads of adventure nuggets in here, that's for sure. So now we're going to get into Nautical Adventures, which of course the Greeks utilized the sea a lot. I mean, there are various islands. So we got underwater adventures, underworld adventures. Once again, that's also a big theme in Greek mythology. Denizens of the underworld, paths of escape. So then we got an adventure here. Okay. So No Silent Secret. No Silent Secret is a short adventure for a party of 4 to 6 first level characters who will advance to at least second level by the adventure's conclusion. We're not going to read too much of it because I don't want to spoil anything out there, even for the game masters who might be watching. Especially since, this book isn't out in stores yet. I will discuss the adventure when I do my review. It's got a few pages to it, so there's some meat on the bones of this adventure, I can see. Aha, now we get into some treasures. Got some magic items. I'm sure we'll get some new spells as well. So we got some artifacts. Arrows of the Seasons. The Spear of Helios. I think that's what it says. That's the text is pretty small, and I'm actually not right on top of this book. So that's actually why I had a problem with making out temples on the back. I was like, I thought it said Tempest. I was like, what? All right, so now we'll get a little bit of a bestiary here. So we've got friends and foes, classic monsters. So how to incorporate classic monsters into this setting. So that is a very interesting looking Cyclops eating some sheep, having a snack, having some hors d'oeuvres. The Medusa, there we go. We saw some artwork with the Medusa earlier. Night hags, Sphinx, unicorn. Now we get into some new monsters. I'm a big fan of monster manuals and monster books. Even if I might never, ever use the creature or monster, I just like reading through, seeing the artwork, getting some adventure ideas. So we got the Bronze Sable. Archons, the Ashen Rider. There we go, Cerberus. Or I should say Cerberus. Why did I say Cerberus? It's Cerberus. Cerberus. So you got 2 heads. thought he had 3. I could have, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Chimeras. The Colossus of Akros. So we've got some demons as well. The Fleece Mane Lion. So is that supposed to be like the Golden Fleece? Okay. The 100-handed one. Wow, that's pretty wild. Giants. A Doomwake giant, who is a huge giant and lawful evil. Harpies, Hippocamp. Hoplites. So that was the style of warrior in ancient Greece. The hoplite, where they would carry shields. They were lightly armored, but they would carry shields, and your shield actually covered your companion next to you. It didn't actually protect you. So that was very, very interesting style of fighting. And basically, you would have two sides just come together and just be kind of pushing at each other. So kind of slamming into each other. So we've got hydras. Here's the Leonin again. A Nyx Fleece Ram. Okay. Different nymphs. Got the Oracle. So like the Oracle of Delphi. All right, we're coming towards the end of the book. The Returned. So I thought these were like undead or something. So let's see what these are. Returned have escaped the underworld. Okay, we got that. And dwell among the living once more, but their second lives are rarely what they expected. Not that they remember what it was they expected. So not necessarily undead, not necessarily like zombies or anything like that, but someone who's returned from the underworld. So now we've got some satyrs, tritons, the Woe Strider. Okay, that's pretty wild. And then some mythic monsters, Arasta of the Endless Web. Hythonia the Cruel. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. It's kind of interesting because these are giving you the stat blocks and everything. And then there's a little section that's talking about using this monster, creature, individual, whatever, as a mythic encounter. It's cool. All right, and that's it. That is the final page. Then we've got our index back here. And that is our 256 pages that we find in Mythic Odysseys of Theros. Nice. Very cool. Let's swing on over to the other camera here. All right. And as I mentioned before, I will have a review of this brand new setting book for Dungeons and Dragons out before it hits stores. Once again, it has been out digitally for, I believe, about a month. Might even be a little more than a month. But I have not peeked at it. So this is the first time I've had an opportunity to see this book. I will get to reading it and do my best to have a review for you by July 21st. All right, that is it for this time out. Once again, let me remind you, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ring that little bell, because it will not only notify you when I upload videos such as this, it'll also tell you when my live stream, The Daily Dope, airs Monday through Thursday nights, right here on YouTube with the latest in tabletop gaming news. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, I am about to sign off, and as I've been finishing up my videos, unfortunately, during this time of pandemic, let me once again remind you to please be smart and stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.